Hi, my name's Steve Large. I just want to talk briefly about how I began my realization of the fact that I was an empath, and when I first started to embrace this. It was back in 2012. I'd done Route 66. I spent a little bit of time out in the desert as well, over in Monument Valley, around the Grand Canyon and stuff. And I realised there, without all the distractions of the world and the devices and all this type of stuff, especially with living in London, I started to become myself. I'd shed my character because doing a road trip, each and every day you move a step forward, you leave that old you behind, and this gives you a chance to become who you are, rather than when you're in the rat race in the same run every day, you keep reaffirming your character because you're doing the same thing every day. When you go on a road trip, 5, 10 days in, you start just becoming you. You don't naturally do what you normally do every day, which is liberating. And with this, I realised that there was something more to life that I was missing. And this was the start of my awakening process. I started watching YouTube videos, looking for things to activate my pineal gland. And this was all driven by intuition. So with this, I then, as the time went on, I started thinking more and more, I need to get out the country, I need to get somewhere better. And I was drawn to a few places, Canada, which I'd already been, Australia, and also New Zealand. Now, I didn't know how I was getting here. I was a personal trainer at the time, so they didn't want personal trainers. So I was like, well, what we're going to do now? So I retrained as an electrician because I knew all 3 countries wanted electricians. So I spent 5 years doing a job I didn't necessarily like, just to be able to get out and start my dreams. That was a price I needed to pay. So that was something I was willing to do. So I started doing that. But also, I started being more health conscious, and I started looking at the food I was eating. So I started going to farmers markets. I started watching a lot of stuff. I won't go onto it here. I discovered about the Illuminati and the elites and our slavery. I realised about and learned about our birth certificates and how we're just stock, and all this stuff started annoying me. And I started realising that, wow, we're living in an illusion, a complete illusion. And this illusion, as empathic people and loving people, it suppresses that, because if we serve our soul, all we need is love and gratitude, and that's enough. But if we go into our minds, then it's limitless for the consumer industry to control us and turn us into consumers that have nothing to do with our intuition. So I understood then why I'm burning up inside with love, but my mind is telling me something totally different. I could see the connection. So once I started realising this, first of all, the old saying, the truth will piss you off and then it'll set you free, is so right for me. So I realised what the truth was, which is we're living in an illusion. All of this construct around us is an illusion, and it's basically for our slavery. That's my perspective on it from my learning. But anyway, that's a different subject altogether. With empathy then, I started looking for what? If that's the lie and the illusion, what's the truth? And the more I started asking for the answers, for the truth, I started feeling the answers coming from within. I'd stopped following my mind. I had a friend, Ben Walker, bought me a book, The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. And I'd also bought the book on the same day. I found out at exactly the same time. So I had 2 books, The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. This resonated with me so well. Reading his book was like reading my life. And this was one of the first confirmations that I wasn't insane. I was like, I'm not insane. And this is when I first started embracing being empathic and realising that I'm awake. I am waking up. I am conscious. And this is who I am. And it was liberating. It was like, I'd stopped then taking on board everyone else's thing of that I'm insane because I don't fit into society. I started seeing it different. It's like, I am different. And that's great, because after reading the book, it taught me that I was further ahead on the path of enlightenment and waking up. As I say, I always say this, where we are on the path is not personal. We all need to be on different places of the path. If we were all at the same place, there'd be no growth. So we need to be on different places on the path. So I embrace people who are ahead of me and behind me on the path. This is how it has to be, which is a great thing. So with all this other stuff as well, I started learning about the toxins and the chemicals we're putting in our body. So one of the first things I did was I spent £1,000 and got all mercury fillings taken out as well. And I started also looking at the chemicals in our food. So my diet started changing dramatically, and especially for my son as well. So this was the process we went on. This then went on to, as I landed in New Zealand, I think I'd been here 2 months, and I had a massive shift in awakening and consciousness. I think because once again, I was back out of London, and being so into nature here, it helped this shift. I changed then and became vegetarian. This is no judgment or aspersions on anyone who eats meat. I used to eat meat. I wasn't a bad person, and I don't judge anybody for doing it. This is my personal findings and my personal path. This is how it came about for me. And then with that, a year later, I went vegan. So I've been a vegan now for a year, and I feel fantastic. I feel fitter and healthier today than I ever felt. I don't use sun creams. I don't use chemicals. I don't use chemicals in any of my washing products, my clothes products. There's natural stuff out there now, which is quite easy to get, which is fantastic. Chemicals cause cancer. I won't go into that too much here, because there's probably liability things that I can't say stuff like this. But from my findings and research on how all this happens, this is another thing. So for me to embrace who I am and my empathy and my body to need to waken up and take the information and the more love and light and to spread the message, my body had to become purer. So I had to become healthier to take on this energy. Because if I'm not pure and healthy, I can't take on the energy. So I've realised now, and through meditation, that I have to do this. Now that's my personal journey, and this is a message for anyone who's getting these feelings of to stop eating meat or to stop doing certain things in their life, or they need to change something. And they're coming from the intuition. These are signs that you're growing and your consciousness is rising. So listen to them. If you're on that path of wanting to evolve and become more conscious and awake, listen to the intuition, because the intuition is what will guide you, not your mind. Your mind is stuck in a rut of what it likes and what it's used to. It likes comfort over growth. That's just what your mind does. That's what it's designed to do and solve problems. Yeah, my name's Steve Large. I hope some of this has helped. You can also follow me on my YouTube channel, which is Steve Large, or at my business, Thought Waves Hypnotherapy. Yeah, I just hope this helps and explains a little bit about my personal journey. Thank you. Love and light.